Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm actually super excited for this one because I'm going to be showing you my Oracle and Tarot card collection. Can't believe I've never shown you before, but here we are, probably 3 years into me making spiritual and wellness content, and I'm finally showing you guys my collection. I'm also going to be going out and buying a new deck today, which I'm super excited. That's kind of what inspired this video. I'm going to go buy a new one and then show you all of my decks, which ones I like the most, which ones I don't, and of course show you the new one that I get. If you're excited for this video, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your favorite Oracle deck is, and we're gonna get shopping. I currently have a Christmas ambiance playlist going for him. And before we head out, I'm gonna just give you an overview of my decks. I'm pretty sure there are some behind here as well. I actually don't collect that many decks. I've made a whole video about why I don't really collect Oracle cards and crystals and all of that anymore. I just really try to, you know, be minimal with everything that I have these days. Can you sit? Mommy's busy. When it comes to tarot, I definitely have a few decks that I love and use the most, but with Oracle, I think that it's just really fun to find different ones that I connect with. I don't buy a lot. This is like a collection that I've had for years and years and years, so I'm excited to show you guys which ones are my favorite. But the sun's literally about to start setting and it's 2:40, so let's get going to the store where I'm gonna buy a new deck. I feel so blessed that where I live, there are like 4 different metaphysical shops to choose from. There's also Barnes & Nobles that does sometimes have nice decks, but sometimes it's hit or miss. So today I chose my favorite store because they have so many more deck options than other stores around here. There's actually one store that is so unbelievably overpriced. And I know because I used to work at a metaphysical shop. I know what the prices were, and I thought it was overpriced back then. But since coming here and going to some of the shops here, I don't know if like the industry itself has just raised its prices so much, or if it's just where I live that the prices are so much higher. It's honestly ridiculous. Like a crystal, a little crystal that at my store would have gone for like $2 is now going for like $6 or $7. It's wild. So that's another reason why I don't like to go crystal shopping anymore. But regardless, let's go find a new Oracle deck. Okay, I did not film in there. I was so uncomfortable. It's so silent. I was the only one. So if you're a vlogger and you know what that feels like, it's just so uncomfortable. But I ended up getting 2 decks, and I'm not going to open them until I'm finished filming my Oracle card collection. So it'll be an unboxing at the very end of this video. So make sure you stick around to the end if you want to see my reaction to that. And also, if you're interested in any of the decks that I mentioned in this video, they're going to be linked below in my Amazon storefront, which I now have. So if you're into anything that I talk about on this channel, for the most part, everything is going to be in my Amazon storefront. So go check that out. So let's go inside and get started with this Oracle and Tarot card collection. I don't even know what I have anymore, so I'm excited. My hair looks so long. Oh my God. I've never had my hair look like this long before on camera. So yes, I'm about to show you guys my Oracle and Tarot card collection. We have the Aurora Borealis going on in the background. I hope that's not too distracting. We have a new setup just for this video. And to keep it casual, my dog is right next to me chewing his bone. I hope that's not too distracting. He loves to be the center of attention, so I'm just gonna let him roll with that. And in order to prevent this video from being like 3 hours long, I'm just gonna show you each deck, but I'm just gonna tell you, you know, like the things I like about it, what I don't like about it, and I will rate it on a score of 1 to 10 on how much I personally love the deck. Not necessarily how good or bad the deck is itself, but just my preference. So I just grabbed some cards that were next to me. This is in no particular order. So starting off with a deck that I don't necessarily love, I got this at Crystal Connection in Worsboro, and they had a book that I was looking through finding which deck I liked, and I thought I liked this one, but I think once I bought it, I was like, wait, that's not the right deck. It's called Fantastical Creatures Tarot. Looking back, I mean, I kind of like it, but I can honestly say I don't think I've ever used it. For instance, this is the High Priestess. This is Judgment. This is the Moon. I'm not necessarily super drawn to mythical creatures per se, but looking at this now, I do think that it is actually a really beautiful deck. This is the Hermit. An ad? You're not supposed to have an ad during ambiance. Oh my god. This deck actually is really beautiful. Again, it wasn't one that I thought I was going to be getting, so I was like a little disappointed in that. Here's the 10 of Wands. I think it has the Aurora Borealis on it. So this deck really is beautiful, and I think that a lot of people watching this might actually really love this deck and connect with it. Here's the Ace of Pentacles. It's just not my style. So on a scale of 1 to 10, my rating for this deck would probably be a 6. I don't use it, never really have, but maybe one day I will. One day maybe this will connect with me. The next deck that I'm going to show you is Oracle of the Hidden Worlds by Lucy Cavendish. This deck is stunning. The thing with this deck is I feel like you have to be doing a reading on somebody who's very open to more of the hidden worlds. It's exactly what it says. I'll show you, like, some of these are just so beautiful. The way they write the book, if I'm reading what's in the book to somebody who is new to all this, they would be like, what the hell are you talking about? It could easily go over somebody's head, but it is truly just so stunning. I'm so attracted to the cards. I love purples and literally anything that looks like the auroras, like purples and greens and violets. So here is the Healing Temple. So this deck is probably one of my favorites. Again, the one thing that I don't love about it, like, let me read. I tried to read one of these cards for my mom once and she was like, what the hell? And I'm just gonna read you an example. This is the Light Priestess on page 40. It says, before you is a temple, a gateway to the realms of light, and it is broken. It's being restored, rebuilt with every moment that you give to your own restoration and well-being. As you do this, likewise, this temple will be restored by the Light Priestess, she who waves the rays and brings us back to the codes of our origins. All you need to do is focus on the light within and without you. So I feel like the way that's worded, it could easily go right over somebody's head who isn't into this kind of stuff. So that's my only downside of this deck, but I eat it up. I love it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this deck a 9. I love it. Here's one of the cards. Again, I'll show you a few more. It's just, the artwork is absolutely stunning. And if you're somebody like me who just loves this kind of imagery, like these colors, like, hello, it's like so purple and mystical, then this deck is for you. The next deck I will talk about is very dusty because I've probably only used it like once. This is a Sacred Self-Care Rituals deck. I got this by Goddess Provisions several years ago. I think I got it in a box or maybe as PR. It is really cute. It basically just has different self-care things to do on it. So sound healing, connect with fire, abundance planning. So like the cards are beautiful if you're looking for like self-care ideas. I wouldn't necessarily do this as like an oracle card reading. And the deck back when I had it did not have a guidebook, but I think they do now. So if that's something that you're interested in, like I think they have redone them a little bit in terms of like adding a book and stuff. So yeah, not my favorite. I'd rate it probably like a 3 out of 10. To keep rolling with ones that I barely use, this is the Crystal Grid Oracle card deck. I got this, I think, again, in either a Goddess Provisions box or maybe it was a different box that I used to get. I can't even remember. They talk about different crystal grids that you can make, but they're also cards that say like different meanings on them, like spirit, you know, connect with spirit. Here's a grid for success. So if you're looking for grid ideas, this is a great deck. If you want like a pocket oracle deck, this is also a good one. I don't think I've ever actually used it in my life. And I don't think that it comes with a guidebook either, so it's not necessarily my favorite. 2 out of 10. One of my favorite tarot decks that I own is, of course, the Magical Nordic Tarot. My dream in life is to make my own tarot deck or oracle card deck. And of course it would have the Northern Lights all over it. I like this deck a lot, but there are some things that I don't like about it, and I will show you now. I love the imagery on the cards themselves. The artwork is just absolutely stunning. Here's the Queen of Swords. I love the colors. Like I said, I'm very much into blues and greens and purples, and it just really makes me happy to see all these. Like, look at this. This is the Empress. And this one is the Magician. This one is one of my favorite cards in this deck. Like, hello. You can see how beautiful it is. The only thing with this deck that I don't love is that the minor arcana, I call it arcana, is like this. So if you are somebody who, you know, reads them through your intuition, this is not the easiest deck to read. I honestly really don't like when decks kind of just give up when it comes to the minor arcana cards. It was kind of a miss because the major arcana and the court cards are just absolutely stunning. So it does make me a little bit sad. So with this deck, I would rate it probably a 7.5 out of 10. I truly love it. It is one of my favorites, but because they kind of gave up when it comes to the minor arcana cards, you know, I feel like they took the easy way out with that one. Continuing on with tarot, this was one of my first tarot decks. It is called the Crystal Tarot, of course. Crystal, hello. I haven't used this in a really, really long time. This, again, was one of my first decks. The only thing, again, with this card is that, again, they kind of gave up when it comes to the minor arcana. The cards themselves are beautiful, and I'm actually so funny because I know 100% back when I got this deck, I did not realize they actually had crystals on them. Like, my brain probably had no idea that those were crystals at the time. That's so funny. Here's Temperance, Strength, absolutely beautiful cards. So with that said, I'm going to rate this one a 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10. The sun is setting. Can you believe it? It's only 4:30 and the sun is going down. It's good to have some hot apple cider. Okay, the next deck I have are the Ascension cards by Diana Cooper. I bought these at Barnes & Noble, and I remember being so drawn to them. They don't have any, like, you don't get to see what they look like on the back. It was a total mystery. I had no idea what I was really buying. I actually do really like this deck now, but back in the day, I wasn't really about it because all the cards are the same. They just look like this. Okay, and the back. These cards are very interesting though. They have different energies and different beings, and when I pull one, I kind of like to connect with the energy that it talks about. For example, there's Thoth, Mother Mary's Aquamarine Mantle, Archangel Metatron, some that I can't pronounce, the Cosmic Heart, the Sun, Orion, Lady Nada, Fire Dragons, the Gold and Silver Violet Flame, Jesus, the Amethyst Skull, the Pleiades, Mary Magdalene. So there's just like a lot of different energies in here, and it talks about like who these people were, how to use these cards as like an invitation into certain things, and they have an affirmation on them, which I really like now. But back when I got them, I was like, what are these? Like, I have no idea how to use them. I don't know what half these things are. But as I developed into my spirituality and learned a lot more, I was able to connect with different things that were in this deck. So yeah, so I love this deck now. I sometimes pull one to see which energy I should be connecting with for a certain issue that I'm going through. So I would rate this deck a 7.5 out of 10. I feel like they could have gave it some artwork, but the actual information that are in these cards, like, I really love that. The next deck that I will show you is the Dream Oracle cards for the Awakening Dreamer. This is a very interesting deck. I don't really use it anymore, but it's cool. Like, for example, if you are having a recurring dream, there's like a certain thing in the dream, like a person or a symbol. You can find it in the deck, or you can look it up in the book and see what it means. Or you can pull one and it might match up with your dreams, just something that's trying to come through for you. So for example, there's car, bathroom, flush away what is no longer serving you, a child, give yourself permission to play, naked, dare to bear all. So yeah, this deck is really cool. The only thing that I don't love about it is the artwork. It's nothing spectacular. But yeah, this deck is definitely interesting, but I don't really ever use it. So I'm going to rate it a 5 out of 10. The next one is the Angel Tarot Cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. This was one of my first decks. I think it actually was my first deck because I was scared of like witchcraft. I was scared of tarot cards and everything. So of course I got angels. And this was when Doreen Virtue was making cards. She doesn't do that anymore. This deck is actually really cool and I do really think it's beautiful. So there is like 2 of Earth. The Lovers is Archangel Raphael. The Sun is Archangel Uriel. I think just in general, the cards are very beautiful and I just never really use this deck anymore. I have one tarot deck now that I love, but all the other ones that I have kind of just get thrown out the window once I have one that I truly love. And I honestly feel like this one could sell for a lot of money. Not that I would sell it, but Doreen Virtue does not make cards anymore. So it's just funny that I have this. I feel like I have like an artifact. So I would rate this one a 7 out of 10. Again, I like it. It's pretty. They have all of the minor arcana cards are all finished, but I just don't reach for it. I don't use it. I'm making a dent, you guys. Okay. Another one that I have is the Numinous Astro deck. I got this at Barnes & Noble, I believe. This one's actually really cool. I really do like this one and I do use it. It has all of like the houses. It's based on astrology. So we have the different aspects like conjunction and what those mean. The 3rd house. This also was great because it helped me learn astrology a lot better. The different meanings of certain things. This also really helps during a reading because, you know, maybe you're doing a reading for somebody else and you're able to pull a card that is more specific towards a person or an event or a different energy. And like, you could be like, there's a person coming into your life and they may be a Capricorn or, you know, be very ambitious or very driven or things like that. It really helps to make the reading more specific. So I really like this deck. The only thing I don't love is the artwork per se. It's not something that's like very me, but it is very unique and I do love this deck a lot. So I'm going to rate this one an 8 out of 10. It also comes with a really great guidebook. So it'll help you with astrology a little bit. I actually really recommend this one if you're into astrology and also into oracle and tarot cards. Okay, one that you guys have seen on my channel before is Postcards from Spirit. Spoiler, these are like one of my favorite that I own. They are incredible. Anything from Colette Baron-Reid I actually really like. I have a couple from her. Spot on. Her artwork, her cards, just everything about them I love. Postcards from Spirit are literally postcards from Spirit. And I think that's why I like them, because you don't have to do any interpreting. You don't have to do any interpreting. It's all right there. You just read what's on the card and it's a great message and it's always so accurate. Yeah, this deck, I love it. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. One of my favorite decks. If you want like one of my top recommendations, definitely this one. And going along with that, another absolute favorite from Colette Baron-Reid is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. This is so beautiful. I do readings with this one all the time on my friends. It's just so stunning. Like, all of the cards are absolutely perfection. There are actually symbols hidden within these, I swear. Every single time I do a reading with somebody, like, look, there's a face right there. Do you see it? Like, there are hidden things in these cards that when it's time to recognize that they're there, you'll see them. They're just so happy and beautiful. Like, I feel so good when I look at this deck and I interpret it. And the thing is, I feel so connected to this deck when I am reading them, because I don't really feel like I need to even look at the book. Like, I just can interpret them and have an incredibly accurate reading. And it's funny because I've had this deck forever and I've never even seen this card. So sometimes like they just come out when they want to. Here's another one. Love this deck. So this one I'm gonna rate 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. It is, I would say, my top 3 decks that I have. This is one that I reach for every single time I do a reading on myself or somebody else. It is my absolute go-to. I 100% recommend this one if you're looking to get into reading oracle cards along with the postcards from Spirit. We are getting there. Okay. The next one is, again, by Colette Baron-Reid. I didn't even mean to do that. This one is called Goddess Power. It is stunning. This deck has helped me learn a lot about the goddesses, learn how to connect with them. Similarly to the Ascension cards one, I will pull it when I need to connect with something about a certain topic, like the goddesses. I will channel their energy, and these cards are so beautiful. It's Spider Woman. But yeah, it has really helped me understand like the meaning about all of these goddesses and connect with them more deeply. Here is Mother Mary. They're just like absolutely stunning cards. If you're making an ambiance video, you should not have ads. It does come with a book that's really great. Actually, it has a lot to each card, which I love, especially not knowing much about the goddesses when I got this deck. It teaches you a lot about them and what the message of the card means and how you can invoke the goddess into your life. I love this deck. I would give it a 10 out of 10 as well. Okay, now I will go on to the Angel Answers Oracle. This is, I honestly kind of avoid this one. This one is very harsh. It does not give a damn about your feelings. It like truly, like when I do readings with this deck, I have to be like to my friends, are you ready for the brutally honest answer? Because this doesn't play around. So I avoid this one. This one has like yes or no answers, and it'll tell you no. And there's only 2 no's in the whole deck, and one of them has an exclamation point like this. And that's like absolutely not, or there's like a yes or no without an exclamation point. They mean the same thing, but no is, but with the exclamation point, you know it's like absolutely not. But it'll give you like actual, you know, yes, no answers. When, a year from now. Kind of reminds me of like a magic 8 ball. Not the right time, reconsider. This deck is just, it tells you what you need to hear, like wait, you're ready. It's a great deck, but it is one like you have to be ready to use this deck for sure. So I honestly would give this one a 10 out of 10. It is one that I feel like most people should have if they're into this kind of thing, but also just be aware it is not, it's a tough love kind of deck, very much so. And this one originally was also by Doreen Virtue. Now it's just by Radleigh Valentine. She was the one who did the Angel deck. So you can see how Doreen Virtue took her name off of the deck. And I remember that once she took her name off all of her things and stopped selling them, this deck in particular was being sold for hundreds of dollars. And one of my friends bought it for that much. And then I saw it at Barnes & Noble for like 20 bucks. And I was like, yay, I got it. So yeah, that's a really great one. Love, love, love. Now, one that I don't love so much. Fairy Dust. I honestly think I bought it because you can't really see what the cards look like based on the back. So I was just like, I wonder what these cards say. They just look like this, all of them. And they have like little fairy poems on them. So for example, this one says believe. And it says magic is there when you believe. So dream big things you can achieve. It's kind of cheesy. Arrows. Direction is yours to choose today. Your inner light will guide the way. This actually might be a really great stocking stuffer idea for somebody who's into this kind of thing. You could get them one of these. I know that they sell ones that are different types, like unicorns and probably like trolls. I don't know, different elementals. Maybe you could find one of those that a friend could like, but it's not something that I use on a regular basis. I'd give it like a 2 out of 10. a 1 out of 10. Then one of the tarot decks that I use very often is the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. I really like this one in comparison to the regular traditional Rider-Waite because it literally is just more vibrant of a deck. Everything looks more a little bit like happier, and it fits my vibe a bit more. It's more colorful. It's just like a little more modern, in my opinion, of a deck. This is the back, just pretty stars. Yeah, so I mean, if you are somebody who wants a traditional Rider-Waite deck, there are tons of different traditional versions you can buy, and I really do like the Radiant one. The colors are so much more vibrant, and it just appeals to me a little bit more. So because this is so traditional, I gotta give it a 10 out of 10. However, the deck that I use the most often for tarot is the Vice Versa Tarot. This deck is stunning, absolutely stunning. First of all, I feel like this was $31.95. It's pretty expensive. It comes with a really nice book that, okay, before I get to the book, I'll show you the cards. So the thing with this deck is that each card has a reverse perspective, which is really cool. So here you can see the Knight of Swords, I believe. Can't really see. Here is the World. So here's the Fool, right? We see what he's about to do, but from the other side, we see where he's going. It comes with a really great book, but it says like this side, if you pull this side, and then if you pull the other side, and it tells you everything you need to know about the cards, like this side, that side. It's just the best deck I've ever come across. I absolutely love this deck. My absolute favorite, for sure. So if you're looking for a tarot deck that I recommend, 100,000% this one. If you're like a new reader, having that extra perspective is incredible and just really helps open your eyes too. Like when I go from this to reading this deck, like I now know more about the perspectives of the reverse and all of that. So yeah, this deck is just my absolute favorite. 12 out of 10, love it. And before I go and recharge my camera, I will show you whatever deck is in here that I obviously don't use. Crystal Visions Tarot. Okay, I do feel like I used to use this one a lot, which is interesting because I don't feel like I'm very drawn to it anymore. Again, when I use a tarot deck that I love, I will only use that deck for the most part. Like now, here and there, I'll use the magical Nordic deck, but again, I really don't like how it has some of the minor arcana cards just not, they fall flat to me. But this deck is really beautiful. I do really like it. I can see why I used it so much that I had it in its own little Ipsy bag. But yeah, so if you're drawn to this deck, I'll add it into my Amazon shop as well. But because I never ever use it, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. The artwork is beautiful. It's on every single card. Oh, the devil is a little temptress. I love that. Because that really shows like a different perspective than what we're used to seeing when it comes to the devil card. So yeah, I'm gonna charge my camera. I will be right back. All right, camera is charged. Ad's probably gonna pop up in a few seconds. And of course, my pup is right here. I'm making my way through. I only have a few more decks, and then I'm gonna look at the ones that I just got today. But let's see, what do I wanna show you? I'll show you the Work Your Light deck by Rebecca Campbell. I love this deck. I actually really love her work. I also have the Starseed Oracle, which I'll show you next. Can you see why I bought them? They're absolutely stunning. But yeah, this deck is truly so beautiful. It has such great artwork, and I just love it so much. I feel like I connect really deeply with this deck. This one also has like a yes and a no. But with this one, the artwork is truly just fabulous, and I do really connect with this one. For some decks, you know, you won't feel like you have that deep connection to them, and you probably won't really use them. And you only really know that once you start using them and just you're like, I don't really vibe with it that much. These two decks I truly love. Like, these are going to be 10 out of 10s. The artwork is beautiful. Every time I pull a card with them, it feels like it just hits home so deeply. And yeah, along with the Wisdom of the Oracle and Angel Answers, I definitely go for these two decks as well, probably the most often. So that's Work Your Light. This one is 10 out of 10. Love it so much. But I actually feel like I like this one just a little bit more. I relate to it a little bit more. It's the Starseed Oracle. And I think that this one is actually even more beautiful if you ask me. It has a little bit more of like space imagery, which I think is really beautiful, and like other planets, but it's all very much like the purples and the blues and the pinks and greens that I really connect with. This also has like beautiful underwater imagery as well, along with other planets. Like this one is the Star Keeper. There's a lot of water if that's something you're interested in. If you like Lemuria, it kind of gives off that kind of vibe. I actually think that is one of the cards in here. There's Inner Earth. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing bad to say about these decks. Like, I truly love them so much. So this one, probably an 11 out of 10. I would say that these would definitely make it into my top 5. Almost at the end, I have Sacred Rebels Oracle. This one is one that I don't normally reach for. It's by Alana Fairchild, who did the Ascension cards as well. This deck is really beautiful. When I got it, I don't know, I didn't really connect with it as deeply as I wanted to, but every time I do pull a card from it, it is something that is actually so profound and beautiful. So here are some of the images on the deck. It is beautiful artwork, and the messages are stunning. Like, if you read the book, they're actually really beautiful messages as well. And I wish that I was more drawn to it. I think actually I might pull some for myself now, because now looking at it, I'm like, wait, this deck is so beautiful. Why don't I ever pull from it? I guess just because I have a few more favorites that I use more often. But yeah, this one, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't reach for it as much. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. As far as the book, it gives a lot. Like, when I said that the messages were like profound, like, it gives a lot for each one. So here's like one of them, number 20, and it just goes on and on. So you're getting a lot of message with each card, which I really love. So I really do recommend this one, and I love how it has the Mother, Maiden, and Crone at the top. Again, I guess I really like Alana Fairchild, because this one is by Alana Fairchild. It is the Lightworkers Oracle. This is in my top 5 as well. I think I have 4 maybe. Oh no, I definitely have more than 5. It's this. How many 10s have I had so far? I don't know. This one definitely makes it into the top as well. I use this one a lot. It is stunning. Like, look at this. Like, if you're interested, if you feel like a light worker or a Starseed, you will connect to this deck for sure. And again, this one also has very strong messages in the book as well. So here we have Power of the Divine Masculine, Trust in the Plan. And what I do when I pull one of these is I think that the imagery is very much like encoded itself. So I'll kind of prop up whichever one I have on my little altar space for like a week and just kind of channel the energy that it's giving me. Here is Soul Child, which is so cute. It has a little teddy bear. Like, this deck is truly stunning, and I find that I get some of the most insightful, helpful answers from this deck that I don't really get with any other deck. Like, look at this. She's broken and she's breaking free from her shell. So I love this deck so much. Again, this is going to be 10 out of 10. I'm going to show you the book real quick so you can see what I mean. So here we have Wisdom of the Divine Feminine, and it's like very long. It's not just like a short blurb, which I appreciate that it does give you a lot of information. That one, and then that gives a lot. When my other dog Sam passed away, my mom and I came up to where I live now, and we went to one of the crystal store, metaphysical stores, and actually got this. It's the angel cards here, healing angel cards. And I don't really use them, but I did use them a lot when he passed away because I felt like it was just a little way to connect with him. It was really sweet. The reason being is that they're very small little cards, similar to the fairy one. But these actually do give really sweet messages, so you could kind of keep these in your purse if you wanted to. So for instance, there was actually one that was really sweet that I would get a lot when my dog passed away. But for example, here's Healing Angel, and it says, at this very moment you are being bathed in gold, pink, and deep green light. Accept this healing. We, your angels, surround you with wings of love. You are eternally free, eternally fresh, and eternally abundant. So they are really sweet. This would be great if you're doing a reading and you just wanted some extra guidance or extra love from your guides. I don't think I was expecting them to be small is the only thing when I got them. So, and it doesn't come with a book. Not that it really needs one because it's so tiny. They're cute cards. Now I have 3 left, and 2 of them are the ones that I just got. This deck that I'm about to show you is also brand new as well. I got it about a week ago, and I've been doing some really great work with it so far. It's called Sacred Symbols for Divination and Meditation. And this one, I don't know, I wasn't drawn in particular to the images on it because they're not very exciting, you know, they're just little drawings. But what I thought was interesting was that I could, do I have it? What I thought would be really interesting with that deck is I could meditate on the different symbols, and that's what I had been doing. So for example, I got the spiral, which is growth, and I was just drawing spirals one night, kind of in like a meditative trance-like state. And I wrote down all the messages that I was receiving, and I also pulled trust, which is the shadow, and it just kind of looks like a black blob. And so I was drawing that while I was receiving different messages while I was drawing the symbol. So I really liked that practice, and I want to keep doing it. So every time I pull a card, like say I drew the snake, I would kind of just draw that symbol over and over again until I got my messages. So I do really like this one, even though the images aren't fabulous. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, just because it's really helping me to work on my intuition, which we have the intuition series on this channel. So if you aren't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. Okay, so I'm gonna introduce the 2 new decks that I just got today. We have the White Light Oracle and the Power of the Runes. So I'm gonna go open these and I'll be right back. We're back. So the first deck that I got today is Power of the Runes. This deck only has 25 cards, but I got this because I currently do have runes. And if you know me, if you know the vibe of my channel, the Aurora codes, I'm very much into the Northern Lights and Nordic life and Norse mythology, and I don't know, there's something about it that my soul is so called to. I love like the Norse goddesses. I love watching everything about Vikings, and I don't know where it comes from. I mean, it has to be like past life something or another, but I just feel so deeply connected to it. And so because of that, I decided to learn runes, and my runes are just little wood pieces here. I figured that this deck could really help me learn what each rune means when I pull it in a reading. So here are the cards. So it gives the symbol at the bottom and then a card image to go along with it, which I think is really cool. Very like Viking-esque. I love it. I don't know, it just looked really cool to me, and I was like, this could really help me. Whoa. Can't show this one on YouTube. Really shows like a good interpretation of what the symbol could mean. So I don't know, I just thought that this would really help me with my readings. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I'll come back to you guys with my rating on this one. Let me know if you, I know so many of you guys are also connected to the Auroras like myself, which is amazing that I've cultivated a community that's very like-minded in that way. Let me know if you also are interested in runes, if you have been drawn to Norse mythology, different elements like that. As you know, like my dream in life is to like live in northern Norway, northern Sweden, Finland, somewhere out there. The next and final deck of this video, I hope this video was not too long, is the White Light Oracle. I was drawn to this just based off the back. The images were very, very beautiful, but also the words on it. Very intriguing. So let's see what they are. This is also by Alana Fairchild. I have a few of her decks, and I really do love her decks as well. So, and I know that they're going to be the ones that are full of meaning. So we can see here, here's one page. It goes on to all of this and all of that. So there's a lot with each deck, or with each book that she comes out with. So this one is Magnetism of Eros. Cupio Dissolvi. I don't know if this is another language. I'm very interested to learn more about that. Maybe it's Latin. I don't know if I'm sounding stupid when I say that. It's beautiful regardless. Oh, I love that card. Bastet of 174 Hertz. Like, that's what I'm like. I was so intrigued by what the cards were saying that I was like, I gotta figure it out. Yogini of 285 Hertz. So yeah, I'm gonna look through the book and really see what the meaning of all of these names are. But I was really drawn to the deck itself. Beta of Spirit Wolf. That's beautiful. I was just drawn to it, and I was like, you know what? If you're drawn to it, you're drawn to it for a reason. So I was like, oh, that's mine now, I guess. And it's funny because as I'm filming this, I feel like I have so many decks. These are all the decks that I've collected since 2013. So is it a lot? Maybe, but I only use a few of them now. I don't really buy a ton anymore. Just ones that I truly love. I'd say I have probably like 6 that I love, that I use all the time. Yeah, so if you're interested in shopping any of these decks, you can check out my Amazon storefront. I'll leave a link to it down below, as well as right here and in the pinned comment. And let me know, out of all of these decks, which was your favorite. And if I ever came out with a deck based on the Auroras, would you buy it? Because that is like, I'm putting that on my vision board maybe for next year. Can you imagine? With that said, I want to hold my first ever workshop to make a vision board together, or to manifest for the new year together. Let me know if you'd be interested in attending that, and I'm going to start planning that very soon. Lots of exciting things happening here at the Aurora Codes, and I'm so grateful you're here with me. Definitely subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!